I've got a story to tell today, and it involves that mule deer buck. And I'm going to tell you about it because knives are involved as well. We're going to come over here. I'm going to have a seat, and we're going to talk about what happened. Now, this all took place, I think, in 1999. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning. That buck and another buck of about the same size, nose to tail, walking a game trail about 75 yards straight downhill from me and my little brother. Well, we took a 1, 2, 3 count. I put a bead on the front buck, he put a bead on the back, boom. Well, I get down the hill and I realize exactly how big the body on that deer is. He's kind of buckled up against a tree, and I was pretty stout at the time, and I could barely swing his rear end around to get him where I needed him to be so that I could start dismantling him. Well, I start digging through what I had on me, and I didn't have my fixed blade knife. What we did have was this. This is a Victorinox German army knife. At the time, this was fairly new. It was razor sharp. I decided that I was going to use this, and I would at least get the guts out of him, get the weight down enough that I could get him over to the road where we could get a pickup truck and get him loaded up. Well, after making the belly insertion and going up to the bottom of the sternum, the blade on this became completely dull. Completely. Butter knife, you could take it against your skin and just go to town, and you were not going to cut anything with this. My little brother had no knife whatsoever. For comparison's sake, this is a larger Victorinox. This is same size as say a Tinker. So you've got a substantial amount of extra blade, but it made no difference. Once it had gone through that hollow fill hair on that mule deer, it wasn't going any further. Well, I send my little brother on a mission, and he goes back to camp, and we've got a friend at camp. He lets the friend know what happened. And the friend's excited. Animal on the ground. He comes hiking into where we're at on the side of this hill, and he's got his brand new hunting knife. Well, the hunting knife he had on him, not this same knife, but the same model, basically same year, Kmart special, I believe, the Schrade Old Timer 140 OT. I believe they called this the Trail Boss. So I take hold of his Trail Boss, and I continue my cut up along above the sternum to the base of the neck, and I go in. I cut here and try to make a cut on the trachea so that I can drag the lungs out of the body cavity. Dulled it. Completely dull. From sternum to the base of the neck, and then a sawing side cut. I didn't make it all the way through. The steel on these, I can't find any information on. It's a stainless. I don't know what stainless. I'm guessing a 440A with a soft heat treat. The edge retention on this US Schrade old timer, this is a USA made model, lasted exactly as long as the Victorinox. Well, we finally got as many of the guts as we could out. Wasn't fully gutted out. Couldn't open up the sternum. Nothing we could do. We got her down to the road. We got it loaded up. We got it back to camp. After we got it back to camp, I used my buck Vanguard. I was able to remove all four legs at the joint, split the sternum, take the head completely off, skin the animal, then quarter the animal, basically process it down to cooler size. All with this buck in 420 high carbon. And it would still cut paper. It wouldn't cut phone book paper, but it would cut notebook paper without issue. And after that, I ruled out cheaper knives. I learned that even though this is a cheaper steel, a knife company that puts time and effort into perfecting their heat treat is what I wanted in my pack. I picked this up the other day at a flea market. It was absolutely beat to smithereens. The edge was jagged. The blade was scratched to what appeared to be the point of no repair. It was covered in, I'm guessing, a white spray paint, but it did have the original sheath, which was also covered in white spray paint. But I was able to clean everything up. I put a fixed angle, I think it's a 18-degree mirror polished edge on this. I sanded to 220 grit, restored the original grind of the knife, hit it with a polishing wheel, cleaned up the handle, cleaned up the sheath, and I did it all because it's a USA made Schrade, and I have a story that goes along with it. Because I tried to use this knife in the field one time, and it failed me miserably. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that. We will talk to you later.